Rob, as we said earlier, it's Christmas week. That means the year's coming to an end.
Yeah.
And it's about time for us to start putting out some lists. That includes our favorite films of the year, our most anticipated of 2026. We're going to have to do that list in a day or two. But I thought we'd start off today on the lower end of the scale. Because while there's been a lot of great film this year, there's been some really bad film. And I sometimes find it's harder to get the 5 or 10. This year I'm going to do 5. The 5 films that I thought were the absolute worst. Now, I should give some caveats before I give my list here, Rob. 1, it has to have been a theatrical film. It has to have been a film that had a modestly wide release. I mean, I'm sure we could find 1,000 little indie films that never played anywhere and it was worse. Like, I'm sure we could find that. But we're talking about like actual fully released films and all that kind of stuff. So I have 5 films that I'm going to list off here, Rob, with 1 dishonorable mention in it that I'm going to list off. And these are in no particular order, folks. Okay. Just so you know, in no particular order. Okay. So let's go over the 5 films that I found to be the worst films of the year. I'm going to start off with Five Nights at Freddy's 2. My God, this movie is awful. It's just terrible. I wasn't a big fan of the first one either, to be honest with you. But I was really excited about it. Like for 2 years, when we knew the first Five Nights at Freddy was coming, I was super excited about it. I couldn't believe it. And then it came out, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little disappointed by it. But I really thought that the second one was going to redeem it. And I went in with, high hopes. High hopes. That, no, it is seriously one of the most terrible movies of the year. It's just bloody awful on every single level. It's just a terrible, terrible film. So Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is on my worst films of the year list. All right. The next one on my list, Him. Oh my God. I cannot believe Jordan Peele allowed his name to get attached to this movie. And for those people who are still confused by this, this is not a Jordan Peele film. Jordan Peele did not direct this film. He did not write this film. I don't know why he put his name on it. This was a movie that was trying to be, Rob, it's hard for me to say. Like when you looked at the trailers, it looked like it was trying to be some high concept, psycho thriller with like some supernatural element to it and like wild characters. It's just terrible. And it made no sense as it was going along. And then they do these reveals and you're like, that made no sense. And I remember I came out of the theater because I first saw it on its opening night at a movie meetup. I think it was where was it? Might've been in Albuquerque. Anyway, I was at a movie meetup. And we all came out of the theater, and the first thing I said to the audience was, I am so sorry. This is the movie we had to watch tonight. It was just absolutely brutal, so terrible. Hated this movie. So, it's Him is the second film on my list. Remember, these are in no particular order. The third film on my worst films of the year list, another one that I saw at a movie meetup, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Now, look, I'm not going to, lie here. I haven't really enjoyed either of the Now You See Me films, to be honest. Conceptually, it's good. There's a lot of people in them that I like a lot. But I can't believe they even made this third one. But listen, make no mistake, the third one actually made some money. This movie, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, it actually made some money. So get ready to see a fourth one, which is a shame because it's going to dumb down the population even more. This is a movie that, again, just every single scene, every single beat decided to say, now, what's the logical thing to do? And let's do the opposite. And by the end of it, I was just, I couldn't eye roll any harder. It's just a terrible movie. And so Now You See Me, Now You Don't. The third film on my list of the worst movies of the year. All right. Number 4. And when I originally saw this movie, I didn't like it, but I didn't think I'd put it on this list. And then I thought I'd give it another chance and it dropped even more in my estimation. The Amateur.
Wow.
This was a movie that should have been great. It has a great cast. The concept is not a new one, but it's a tried and true one. A husband, either husband or father who has unjustly lost their wife or daughter, put whatever in, out for vengeance. It is a tried and true formula with some fantastic people in it. It should have been fantastic. And it was terrible. I mean, besides Lawrence Fishburne and Rami Malek, you also had John Bernthal in there. And it's just, you had so many great people, and it just ended up being completely awful. So I ended up I wasn't originally going to, but I did end up putting The Amateur on my list. All right. The last one on my list of my 5 worst movies of the year had to include Megan 2.0. And unlike Five Nights at Freddy's and Now You See Me, where I didn't really love the original ones of those, I really liked the first Megan. I had a ball with the first Megan. I thought it was fun. It always had its tongue firmly planted in cheek. It was just a really fun time. It was so when they announced that they were doing the second one, I was very enthusiastic for it. They showed that they were going to up the action for it. All that's good. And, I don't need to relitigate it. We reviewed the film on the channel, so I don't need to go into it all again. You all saw it. It's a dumpster fire. It's a completely worthless piece of garbage, which is really too bad because I really did like the first one. I really did. And this one just rusted out. It just completely rusted out. So again, the films on my list are Megan 2.0, The Amateur, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, Him, and Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Those are my worst films of the year, Rob. I now put over the microphone into your hand. What were your least favorite films of this year?
Okay. Now, I haven't seen, obviously, all the movies that came out in 2025, but I have to say that my movies are the most disappointing to me. Movies that I was really looking forward to that just disappointed me. Because if I know movies, like I'm not going to go see Five Nights at Freddy's in the theater because I know it's going to be bad and I know it pissed me off. But these are movies that I went to and I was excited. Number 5, Captain America: Brave New World. I was really disappointed by Captain America: Brave New World.
I came close to putting that on my list. I came close, but I found too many redeeming qualities.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm like, how do you, to me, the whole premise was wrong-headed. You leaned into the Incredible Hulk when really what you should have leaned into was Sam Wilson has a great journey to fulfill, which is trying to live up to
the standards of Captain America.
The standards of Captain America. How do you end this film at every turn? And plus, we're going to go to war with Japan, like because the Soviet Union and Russia and China don't exist in the MCU. So let's make Japan villainous or something. I was annoyed by that. Another movie, which I don't know if it would fit your category, but I was really looking forward to it because I love the book it was based on. The Russo brothers, The Electric State. In The Electric State, it's a picture book, and the robots don't talk. And $320 million, I love robots. I love the picture book. I'm like, this is going to be the greatest thing I've ever seen. And at $300+ million, no. It went in the exact other direction of the kind of movie I thought it was going to be. I should have known by how much it cost, but it was terrible. And I was really disappointed. I mean, here's the thing. It wasn't terrible the way bad movies are terrible. The way Plan 9 from Outer Space is terrible. But it was just all these choices were perplexing to me. And you didn't fulfill the promise of what it should be. Now, here's a movie I actually did see in a theater. I don't even know if it was officially released in the theaters, but I saw it in a theater. Hurry Up Tomorrow. The Weeknd.
Oh, the Weeknd one.
Bro.
That's one it was between that and The Amateur. And you're now already convincing me I should have put that one on there, which was really, because I love The Weeknd and I love Jenna Ortega, but Wow, that was a self-indulgent, desperate. It was terrible. It was just so bad.
And now, yeah, number 3, Snow White. Now, I was willing to give it a pass. I'm like, yes, I wanted this movie to be good because I have quite enjoyed the live action films that have come, beginning with Cinderella. There's been a lot of these live action remakes that I've actually enjoyed. Snow White was not one of them. And it seemed to me that it was, of all the movies that were compromised by people talk about various initiatives, how do you make a movie? It seemed to me, those early photographs when they showed that motley band of characters that weren't necessarily
Yeah.
dwarves that were called. I'm sure that's how the movie originally went, and then they reshot it and they put CG dwarf. I'm like, one of my favorite fantasy films from the 80s is Time Bandits. And in Time Bandits, they had a merry bunch of people, little people, that played the Time Bandits. And they were great. And it was like, how do you not hire all of them to play the Seven
Now,
Dwarves?
here's the funny thing. You and I are on the same side in the sense that Snow White wasn't good. Because I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't like Snow White either. But I will stand by and defend their choice to make the dwarf CGI because you can't do like my belief is you can't do the dwarves with actors in costumes. I hated the movie, but I thought that wasn't the wrong choice. I actually thought they made the right choice for that if they wanted to be more accurate to the original animation.
Yeah, I just thought that, I just like actors. And in Time Bandits, those actors were great in those roles.
Sure, but they were original characters that weren't trying to match up to something else that we've known for generations.
That's true. That's true. I was hoping Snow White, I was hoping it would surprise me and be good. A movie I went and saw this week, Ella McKay. Did you, James L. Brooks' new movie?
I didn't even know it came out yet. I remember the preview at CinemaCon looked promising, but so I didn't even hear that it came out. It was bad? Oh, that's too bad.
It was
that's a shame.
one of our great, one of our legendary filmmakers. And it starred the lead actress who looks just like Margot Robbie from, why am I drawing a blank on her name? From Sex Education, the great series from Netflix. If you've watched that, she was great. I mean, she wasn't bad in the movie. The movie was just all over the place. I'm like, what year are we living in when I'm watching, when I'm thinking about this? And I'm like, it's James L. Brooks. I was like, could this be great? But it's like, this guy, no, this movie never should have been greenlit. But the number one movie, my very worst movie of the year that I actually was bamboozled into being excited about. John, when I was a little kid, when I was 5 years old, my first favorite movie of all time was Byron Haskins' 1953 War of the Worlds. It is still, to this day.
I didn't put that in the list originally because it was not a theatrical film. But please continue, because I was going to get to my 6th dishonorable mention, and that was indeed going to be War of the Worlds. But you have stolen my thunder. But please continue.
The first half of Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds is amazing. When the Martians or the aliens finally show up, and the original War of the Worlds. I like the War of the Worlds TV series that Paramount made in the late 80s, early 90s. I love War of the Worlds. I love the War of the Worlds concept album. I am a War of the Worlds freak. It takes a lot for me to not like something with the War of the Worlds brand on it or name on it or whatever. But this weird, like searching all on screens, Ice Cube playing a data analyst or whatever the hell he was playing. I watched it in stunned disbelief. Am I watching an Amazon ad? Am I watching something? Did anybody read H.G. Wells' novel before they made this? This clearly not. I wanted, you know what? It was the first movie, maybe the only movie in 2005 or 2025 that made me want to like go out and buy a bow and arrow and shoot it through my OLED just to like make sure that I can't have something that has been sullied by this movie. I can't continue to watch on the screen. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed because I love my TV, but it was awful. And I don't understand why editing a movie, making a movie like that. How do you not just abandon something? I mean, I have worked on movies that we made from going unwatchable to being really mediocre. This film should have just been buried. All the digital files should have been erased. And I'm sorry. It was awful. And it was so disappointing. And it sullied the name War of the Worlds forever.
Well, I mean, it was a prolonged Amazon commercial that was going on Amazon. Now, once again, the reason I didn't have my list and the reason I saved it for a dishonorable mention was because my criteria was it had to be in theaters.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't talk about that.
We didn't talk about. So or else I would have mentioned it even higher on the list. But yeah, man, I watched that. I'm like, the whole time I was just befuddled. I'm like, how do you make this? How do you not get even 5 days into shooting and looking at the dailies and saying, there's got to be something else we can be doing that's better for our time? It was truly a wreck. It was truly, truly a wreck. And the only thing that, because I saw somebody say this in the comment section, but I'll bring it up here. The only thing that I think would have been worse than it is if they had released that Batgirl movie. That might have taken the top spot. But other than that, I'll give it to War of the Worlds. It was a truly horrendous piece of trash.
And it really made me angry.
All right, guys. Question is for you. Do you have some thoughts on your least favorite movies of the year? If you've got a list of them, drop them in the comments section below. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.